This is our little shed in here for the office, so it's nice to have somewhere where I can keep some stuff for working on the boat, and tools and everything else. There's a lot of things in here, a lot of my things. Right, so I've already made a couple of these mixes just to fill some holes on some other boats I work on. One of them was a glue mix, and one of them was a filler, sanding filler mix. Oh no, that's the fillet glue. Yeah, the other one was the sanding filler. So this is the sanding filler, and all of them just once they're dried, you can just kind of pull the whole thing out. Let's try this one at the bottom. What I did last time, did that. Look at that. It's beautiful, as smooth as, and this one's a bit more brittle maybe than the glue filler. So this is the sanding filler. Oh, and it just feels a little bit sweaty on the side, which is, yeah, just probably the very edges where the mix isn't perfect, but look at that, came out cleanly. So I'm going to make another mix now, and this time I'm mixing up to saturate some timber which is rotten. So we're going to do a saturated rotten timber mix, which means we need the TPRDA. Seals the surface of the timber and prevents dry rot by excluding moisture and oxygen. Used to give that all important first penetrating coat of epoxy to timber which is exposed to moisture. So I'm still sanding back some of the timber, but I'm going to start putting this on in the really rotten bit and then build up on that, and once the rest of it's sanded it'll start getting proper boat coat. So I don't think we need much of this. Get all the stuff out of here, and really, well, I do 20 and 10. Let's do 20 and 10, and then I have to work out how much TRPD. Okay, so I went over 20. So I'm going to have to do, I'm up at about 30. Whoops. That's alright, I'll use it all. Actually, it's got to go on wet, doesn't it? 30 and 45. Wasteful. Got to be lighter handed. Oh, I see. Wait for it to level out. That's going to work. Yeah, paddle pop stick. It's fairly warm today, so no need to microwave this or anything. I'm going to scrape right onto the edge of the cup where put it back in. Timber must be clean and dry. Well, it's dry. Fresh sanding is strongly recommended. Well, it's so rough I won't need to. 1 part this to 5 parts mixed BoteCote. So that has become, what was it, 45 or 50? So 5 parts this. Brush roller or squeegee. I want about 5 mil. 1 part, oh no, 10 mil. 10 mil. 1 part TPRDA to 5 parts mixed. So if I'm up to 45 here, well, that's interesting. When it's wet, you can't see the readout. Anyway, let's see if there's any need for accuracy. What we're doing is letting this soak into the timber. Okay, that took it up about 5. And I'll just keep stirring that. Okay, so we're going to work on saturating this little rot area here. These timbers I'm going to leave for later because they're going to be sanded and they want the clear hardener rather than the hard hardener, which I have. So this is pretty dry. All this timber's dry, and we're just going to saturate it and really soak it in and protect it, hopefully. Okay, so I have a mix, and because it's sat for a while, it's got no bubbles in it. Not that I'm worried about bubbles. I have a wee brush. There's a lot of work to be done in here yet. So let's have a look how we go with this. Does it saturate in? And we'll do this bit of timber here. I might be sanding this again later, but what's here is needs to be protected now anyway. Hopefully I won't go. I've gone through the glass here. You can see the glass. So hopefully when I sand, I'm not going to expose all the timber. It's just this section was very weak and the glass was lifting. So I'm sure I can use the existing glass. Right, so that's pretty much soaked. I'm told that's going to sink in. Now we've got a few other areas we can look at. Oh, well, let's have a look at that. It's already drying out in there in spots. Now if we look down here, we can see this bit of timber along here, which is exposed. So we'll just get that in there, and again I'll be sanding over the top, but if I can soak it into this existing timber, into the timber that's exposed, if I can soak it into the timber that's exposed, then I'll just keep building up on that. I don't plan on exposing too much more timber, but if it happens I'll just give it the same treatment. Oh, and the boat was leaking like crazy, so I've never seen my build so full of water. Okay, so we've also exposed this piece here. Give that a little coat. And I'll end up using it all. So this is a patch job that's happened at some stage. And so if we can soak in, then if we can soak into the timber, which is the idea of this added product, RTPDA or whatever it is, if we can soak in, then we're not just sitting glass on top, we're actually allowing it to penetrate into the timber and really giving us some water protection. That one, I've got this one down here. This glass will probably come off later, but while we're exposed, I'll just get onto this bit of timber. If I sand it and remove some of it later, then that's probably alright, but give it a chance to soak into what the raw timber I have. Here's another piece. So a bit later on I'll make up another mix and go wet on wet with this stuff, as Mr. Giddings advises. Okay, really beginning to pull the hairs out of this brush now. This is all filler through here. I'll leave that. So there's no timber even there. It's just filler. Okay, finally, we've got this guy back here. Oh, I just put my hand in it. Oh. We've got this guy here, but actually there's been a bit of timber. There was we've got this guy here, but there was a bit of wood sitting on top of it, and it hasn't been in the sun, so it hasn't dried. So I'm going to wait until the next lot to see if I can get this a bit drier before I put anything on it. And that's about it.